So a few weeks ago, I reviewed the Commarker B4 20-watt fiber laser, and if you haven't seen that review, you can click up in the corner here. Now, since then, that laser has become my favorite engraving laser for anything that isn't wood. And in the process of working with that laser, I was able to create this, which is a 2.5D horse that's engraved in brass, and the horse actually is raised out of the surface, which means all the surrounding material has been removed. And a few people asked how I created this image, so in this video I'm going to certainly dig into that. I'm going to show you not only how to start from a pre-created image like this horse, but how to create your own. And the good news here is, after a bit of research, I can show you how to do this on a diode laser too, so stick around. Hey, it's Steve and welcome back. Now I'm gonna dive right in here because there's a lot to cover and I wanna keep this video as short as possible to get as much packed in. So if I start by looking at that stallion that I showed you at the beginning, but I'm looking at the raw image here. This is an image that's called a height map, and in simple terms, things that are black are dug down as deep as they can possibly be, so engraved deeper, and things that are lighter are closer to the surface of the material. So in the case of that horse, you notice that the horse was in a rectangle. That rectangle is this black image, the black part of this image. So the good news is you don't have to know how to create these things. There's definitely lots of them around, and I'll show you a few here. Now, if you have no artistic ability, and I certainly fall into that category, you can go to Google Images and find these types of images. Search for grayscale height map images, not surprising, and you'll get a bunch of results. Now, the first few here are actual height maps for geographic maps, and you could engrave them, but it wouldn't be much use. But if you dig down, you'll start to see things like this kind of creepy looking X-ray of a girl, and you know, this dragon. And if I said, hey, I want to make a dragon, I can literally take this image and engrave it. Now, keep in mind, a lot of images online are copyrighted, so if you're planning on making something to sell, you definitely have to reach out to the creator to make sure that you can get a license for it. In the case of the horse that I found, I believe it was a Creative Commons license, which means you can use it. So all I did was download that horse and drop it into Lightburn, and then I'll show you what I did next. Okay, I'm in Lightburn and I've loaded this image in. And the first thing I'm going to do is look for really large pieces of white. So in the case of this shoulder here, you can see there's quite a bit of white there. So anywhere where it's white, it's going to be at the top of the surface of the material, and you may get a flat spot if it's sufficiently large. So one of the things I'm going to do first, and I've done this through experimentation already because I did see a flat spot, particularly on that shoulder, is I'm going to drop the brightness of this down to maybe -9, and you can see that most of that white spot has disappeared. So you definitely want to come up close to the surface of the material, but you don't actually want to hit it because you will get these flat spots. As far as settings go, I've got the power and speed here. The speed set at 7,000 millimeters per minute, and the maximum power is 100% and the minimum power is 0%. And that's because I'm actually doing a grayscale engraving rather than any kind of dithering. And if you don't know if your laser can do grayscale, then run a couple of material tests. And I did another video just recently on getting material settings right and showed you in particular a gradient test. Go look at that, and I'll put a link up above here. You can then set your resolution. I'm going to set it to 250 dots per inch just for the sake of getting it done quickly. But you may want to calculate the minimum spot size on your laser and go as high density as you possibly can to get the most detail out of this. And with that, I'll just shoot the job over to the laser and we'll see what we get. And when I run that Lightburn job, I get an output that's clearly a horse. It looks similar to what I engraved in brass, although the resolution isn't quite as good. But if you want, you can invert the image, and instead of the horse sticking out, you'll get a horse that's the opposite color but engraved into the wood. And that one for wood engraving is a little better. And if you run your finger over this, you'll actually feel quite an impression. But if you do want that appearance of sticking out of the material, you can engrave in acrylic. And in this case, I used black acrylic and got quite a nice image. Now, the resolution here, I believe, was 250 lines per inch, which isn't really very high density. That's why you can see the horizontal lines there. If you don't like that, just go to a higher density. It's going to take a lot longer, though. All right, so far we've made the assumption that you already have an image file, a flat two-dimensional PNG file, for example. But what if you don't have that? What if you find an STL file, for example, for 3D printing or CNC, and you want to take that and engrave it with your laser? Well, you can do that, and I'll show you how. So there's lots of different places where you can get STL files. You can certainly create your own if you have something like Fusion 360 or some 3D modeling tool. But there's also still lots of free things you can pull. And I found this. This is some sort of flower. It purports to be a flower anyway, but it looks more like some kind of a detail in furniture making. And I've decided this is what I want. And this is an actual STL file, so it's three-dimensional. It has length, width, and height. And we have to fix that. We have to turn this into one of those height maps. And there's a tool called STL to PNG, and you can Google it. It's actually up here. It's a GitHub project. Now, fair warning, it's not super friendly. It doesn't have a lot of options. But what you can do is, once you have the file that you want, the STL file, you can load it in there. You can change the resolution, and you really have three options: top, front, and side. So, hopefully your model has something like that, and in this case, it does. And once you have that, you can then just save the output file, and then you can either edit it to clean it up if you want to, or you can just drop it directly into Lightburn. All right, so I've loaded the flower into Lightburn here, and the settings I'm going to use to engrave it are 8,000 millimeters a second at 95% power, and I'm going to bump the frequency a bit to 30 kilohertz. And then I'm also going to do a clearing pass at the end, a finishing pass at 15,000 millimeters a second, which is the maximum speed of the laser, about 15% power, and 100 kilohertz, which is also the maximum frequency of the laser. So just give it a quick wipe, essentially. Now, on the image settings themselves, I'm going to go to 0.01, which is about the maximum or the minimum thickness of the beam. So that's probably the highest resolution I can do. And the image mode here is going to be 3D slice. Now, if you don't have the Galvo version of Lightburn, you won't have this option. What it does is determines that we're going to have 64 passes, so it's going to create 64 slices, and it's going to engrave each of those slices. So effectively what you get is a 3D depth using that depth map down to the maximum depth that the laser can engrave, which is 0.3 millimeters. Now all that's left to do is shoot this over to the laser, and I'll do the image and then the clearing pass on the end. And when it's finished, it'll look something like this. You can see it came out quite nicely, and I'm pretty happy. All right, I've shown you the two primary ways to get to a 2.5D engraving. The first one is just go get a height map from Google Images. There's lots of them out there. The second way is to start from an STL file. So think of 3D models, 3D print models. Go to Thingiverse, and you can probably find them. There's a few other places as well. And then convert that using that STL to PNG image utility to create a height map from there. I'm going to show you just one more way, and it's this. So I popped into Fusion 360, and I'm going to show you both sides of my new 2023 Maker coin, and it looks like this. So it's got a bit of high and low relief on it, and then the back side has my actual logo symbol, and in this case I made the pie slice slightly higher than the actual background, and we'll see how that turns out. And all I'm going to do at this point is do what I would do if I was sending this to a 3D printer. I'll hit the make button and save it as an STL. I'll select the thing I want to export and hit OK and save it to a file. And again, it's an STL file, so then we take that STL to PNG utility and convert it to a height map, a PNG height map. All right, so I took my two converted PNG files, my height maps, and I dropped them into Lightburn one at a time. I'm not going to show you that because it's exactly the same as it was for the flower I engraved. And I did the front here first, and then I flipped it over and did the back, and you'll notice my very precise positioning jig there, 2 bolts in the surface. And then when it's finished, it looks like this. I could have probably polished it a bit more, but it looks fine. And that's all there is to it. So, you know everything there is to know about height maps now. All right, so I've shown you pretty much all the ways you can get from what started out at some point as a 3D model, convert it to a height map. Now maybe you're just going to go to Google and search for height maps, but either way you can get to a height map and drop it into Lightburn. Then in the case of a diode laser, set the image mode to grayscale, engrave it that way. If you're using something like a CoreXY B4 fiber laser, you want to use the 3D slice mode for images. Either way, whenever you do this engraving, you'll get something that looks really cool. You can actually feel it on the surface, which is really nice. And if you're working maybe for a customer, they're going to love this. It's not something you're going to use every day, but it's a really good skill to know, because you always want to have these things tucked away in your toolbox, because eventually someone's going to ask. Anyway, I want to thank, of course, all the supporters of the channel, all the members. If you're not a member, click the join button down below. It really helps out the channel and helps bring more videos like this. And with that, we can wind down. I'll put a video up in the corner here, of course, and get out there, make your world, and I'll see you next time.